You know, the personal training industry can be very tricky when you start this out as a career. And the reason why I say that, you don't actually know what you need in order to turn this from something that you love to do into an actual business.
In the very beginning, when I got in the gym business, I thought the gym business was about results. I thought it was about results, and I thought it was about like killer workouts. And it was really about neither of those things. The gym business is actually about sales and marketing. And so I got into it because I was like, I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about getting people results. But what actually drove the business economics was sales and marketing. The big problem is that with gyms, as you might imagine, a lot of people don't actually like going to the gym. Like, it has inherent difficulties. The good news in the gym business is that everybody wants to get in better shape. And so you have this massive market, but people tend to churn out of gyms. Even the very low cost gyms, like a lot of people have this misbelief that they think like, oh, well, Planet Fitness or Crunch Fitness is $10 a month. So of course no one cancels, but they actually have 5 or 6% monthly churn. They just have a ton of people who sign up every month as well. And so the key that I didn't know is that the businesses that are the biggest in the fitness space, and this is when I got into it, was they're actually just marketing and sales machines. They know how to train sales, they know how to recruit for sales, they know how to market on a number of different channels to get customers in the door. And so once I learned that, I started growing my gyms, and I started realizing that was the business I was really in.
When you transfer this to the training business, it's all about knowing what problem you solve, knowing what solution and who you're targeting. And the third thing is how to replicate this and turn it into an operation. And that operation happens because you got the 3 components. When you transfer this to the training field, you're not just the trainer, you're the CEO of a training business. So if you're ready to build your assets, you got to have all 3 components. Once you get over that celebration and that honeymoon, then you realize I have to actually pay the bills.
Make these small changes and you're gonna start making a lot more money. Get Fit is your profile edit. I actually love your profile photo. I would recommend removing the background so that you stand out more. And I would add a color like yellow, blue, or red. Your name here is fine. Put keyword-rich terms in your name though. That way when people search fat loss, your name comes up. Helping men and women to reach their fitness potential over 12 years, I hate. Be more specific with who exactly you wanna help. When we speak to everybody, we speak to nobody, because when people come to your social media profile, they want to know if this profile is for them. You would be more successful if you said, I help men and women lose 20+ pounds of body fat without restrictive dieting. Finally, take the link tree out of your bio. If there's more than one option, people will click away. This should be a client application for your coaching program. Testimonial highlight I like, class schedule I don't like, because if you want to start online coaching, this should be coaching programs. Cooking I like, motivation I like. Overall, I'd give you 4 to 10. Make these small changes and you're going to start making a lot more money.
This is where it gets tricky, because the people that are getting certified are not learning how to turn this into a business. They simply learn how to train people. And a lot of people see me as someone who's a professional in the sport for 4 decades. But I thought that I could lend my expertise in the world of business and teach you all the things that you've been missing, so that it's clear when you're going into the training business that you can now get yourself to the next level. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a deep dive and teach you guys what goes inside of a successful training career. And I can basically give you the roadmap that I use to get myself to that point where I was able to make 7 figures online and 7 figures in the gym, but making it very clear that it's not rocket science. Let's get into it. Here's what you're going to need when you start a training business.
Said for years that if you're going to pay for an education and put yourself in debt, there's really only 3 careers: engineering, engineering, and engineering. And if you have some spare time, take some engineering classes. But I've changed my mind on that just looking at my own balance sheet in my operating companies over the last 36 months. The fastest growing investment we're making across every sector we're involved in every case, is content generation for social media. Without that, You don't have a business, because that's how you acquire customers. So if you look at all my hires lately, I'm trying to find men and women that know how to shoot content, tell stories, edit content, manage platforms like TikTok, like Instagram, like Facebook, like X, like LinkedIn. These are all different platforms. Yeah. I have millions of followers on those platforms, and they're expecting content every day. And I want to support my mandates, support my narrative, support my companies. So this is our biggest operating cost and fastest growing. And throw on top of that AI, our new AI lab in Abu Dhabi, where we generate a lot of this content. we're really focusing on the future of content generation.
People take you seriously whenever you're doing this. So you got to take yourself seriously. So one of the things that I learned, if I wanted to get people to me, I had to let them know, what is it that I did? And I remember a good client of mine, he was a very successful man, and he asked me, I got a question for you. I know how good you are, and I know what you do, but how do you let them know? And I never thought about it. How do I let more people know about myself and the talents?
People don't really realize what it takes to win. There's a great quote. Don Simpson, who was one of the original producers of the first Bad Boys. We saw a screening, it was really good. I said, it's good. It's at about 90%. And he said, the great thing about being at 90% is at least you're halfway there. And that has turned out to be so true. The difference between 90% and 100% is lifetimes of difference. The difference between a good player and a great player is light years. My son was a chronic B student, and he was like, Dad, it's just, I really could get A's, if I wanted to. And I was like, I promise you can.
Believe in yourself.
You think that the difference between a B and an A is the same as the difference between a C and a B. It's not. It's not. That is such a hard thing to communicate to people, and it's even more difficult when people are talented. When people get a B easy.
They think they got it.
They think they got it. And it's like the level of sharpness and discipline that it takes to get to the heights that you dream of is really simple. It's just not easy.
Now, I was very vested in taking people and giving them an experience so that the minute they finished, that they would say, that was the greatest session I ever had. So I don't know if any of you ever felt that way, that you knew that you delivered a session to these people that came to see you so that you can change their life, but you delivered that training session. Technique, results, executions, motivation, staying in their head, pulling them through tough times. All of those things were what filled my heart up, right? So I never got a moment to think about how do I scale this into something much larger, because the first thing about business is, guess what? You got to make sure that you are creating something that can be multiplied and duplicated. And so I never really considered it. So I had to start thinking about it seriously from that point. So what did I do? First thing I did is I started to document what I was doing with people. And I had to think about what is it that they're going to actually get from it. So I did realize that I was working with a lot of men that were above the age of 50. So guess what? These guys were typically CEOs, and this is real. They were CEOs, they were very successful men, and they were leaders of their companies. And one of the things that my guy told me one day is that I don't want to be the CEO when I come here. I need someone to tell me what to do. So that was the main purpose. The fact that I was good at what I did just was a bonus, but we can't get caught up in our skill set and what we know as trainers. We have to think about what is it that they are trying to get from you. You don't know how much people are going through. So in order to create a business, you got to create a solution to a problem.
When you look at the definition of marketing, it refers to the activities a company undertakes to promote the buying or selling of its products or services. Posting random content doesn't help you generate more sales. And even if your content is good and you start getting more engagement, you'll notice that your sales typically don't go up. Your goal should be to post content that attracts the right audience and drives them through your funnel. Think top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. Here are the types of content that you can post that attract the right customers. Top of funnel, post short form videos educating people on industry's products and services. Middle of funnel, create content like you would for top of funnel, but also mention your products and services. At the same time, you can create dedicated content pieces around specific issues and promote webinars and ebooks. For example, we sell marketing services. If I'm going to host a webinar on SEO, I can talk a little bit about that topic in a short form video and tell people I will go more in depth during a webinar, which they can register by clicking the link in my bio. Bottom of funnel, go live and pitch your product, ideally in an educational way. Create content that sells, but in not too pushy of a way. You can also let everyone on social media know when you have a special promotion to help push more people over the line.
So these people typically are going to have a problem that sometimes they don't know what it is. So you have to probe them with questions. And that's how I got into the game and really understood learning business. So what did I do with those notes? Got them printed, say this is what I want to do to develop the body. So I have a complete system on how to develop the body. So that was something that I didn't want to use anyone else's because I knew I had something proprietary, and proprietary is from my own brain. I didn't get it from anywhere else. It's my own unique formula on developing the body from the inside out. And so that's what I did. And I cultivated this system, and people were in line consistently wanting to take part in it. And the reason why is because they could see me working with someone who was less than average. And then in a short time, boom, these people will be shredded. And they knew that there was something to that. And I knew that there was something to that. And so that's what I did. I used that to be my calling card. And people had to know that I could do it. Referrals are cool, but that's not your entire business. So here are the 5 components or the 5 pillars of business. So what is marketing to you? Let's simplify it. Let's just say that your company is launching a new energy drink, and you create vibrant graphics showcasing the benefits of this drink. That's advertising. Now, if you take these posters and distribute them to gyms and fitness centers, offering free samples, that is promotion. Now, if you sponsor a fitness event and the local sports media writes about it, that's publicity. Now, if you get the participants of this event to share a positive experience about your drink on social media, that's public relations. Now, if you're informing the potential customers about all of the benefits of this drink, the flavors, the impact, then that's sales. And when you do all of these things through a planned process, that's called marketing. So I was able to get pictures done, images created, and knowing how to create offers, things that I could give my clients that I was currently working with that could invite their friends to something, which is a referral network. And this is all cultivated in your training. They do not teach you this when you're getting certified. So therefore, you don't know this is what's required. So when I started to do that, I started to learn more. And one of my friends, he gave me a Marketing for Dummies guide, and that helped me get on the track. It was a book, so I didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of studying because I'd already done my studying to get my nutrition certification and my personal training and my boxing certifications. So all of these things were front and center. I was dedicated to the technique, so I was what we call a technician. And then I created programs, and they were creating results. Everyone knew me for this. I had built a reputation. But now, how do I take this training business to the next level?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're not an online coach, you're a marketer. And unless you embrace that and start viewing social media as a necessity and not an option, then you'll never be a successful full-time online coach.
Because I'm still working hours for dollars and a lot of hours every single day. So what do I do now? Now it's time to what we call duplicate myself. So we created an online portal. And the online portal would create the manner in which I would scale myself out of a full-time job career in the training business. Here's what you're going to need in order to scale yourself and multiply your money and minimize your physical efforts in the training business. So if you're one of those guys going in early mornings, spending your time at the gym all day, or waiting around for person after person, That's a difficult grind. So here's how I got out of that situation. And this is what got me to my first 6 figures and then 7 figures. Is first, here are 3 things that you're going to need. This is programming. So everything that I was teaching, I had to make sure that I had it available for the people who couldn't actually get to me, and a backup for the people who are actually with me and wanted to be with me more on those in-between days. This is a program. This is training techniques and stuff. And that was boxing. So most of the people who were athletes, who were competitive or trainers, those were the sparring techniques and training systems that you need, because of course I've done 4 decades in boxing. So I've been on the world championship level, Olympic level, national tournaments, Golden Gloves, whatever there is out there, I've done it. So I have an actual program for everything that I've done as well. So the next thing that you're going to need is physical training. And this is all about what process do you use to train a person who actually wants to have a physique like a boxer, train like a boxer, move like a boxer. You got to have that. And then last but not least, the way that the business has to operate is this. I created the boxing training, physical training, and the actual business structure. So as you see, the book says business structure. Now I have a multifaceted business that's moving at the speed of light, and no matter how much I love working with people, I'm always giving people an opportunity to work in my systems. Now, when it came down to the developing and growing the marketing, I had to learn how to talk to the audience. I had to learn how to connect with the audience and serve them in a way that I knew exactly what they wanted. So then what we did is created this book called SPAR. It's called Systems, Process, Acquisitions, and Revenue. And what that did, it helped me cultivate what I needed to say to people, what I needed to relate to people. I had to be clear on who I was working with. I wanted to work with people who had physical issues that they couldn't go to a regular gym. I was a specificity trainer. I was an expert in the field of medical science, anatomy. That's what I did well. I trained the elements of the human body that were invisible to the naked eye. Perception, reactions, ligaments, sockets, joints, everything that could plague a person, scar tissue. I understood how to manipulate all of that stuff using my system, and that's what I was. So you have to really understand and how to identify what is it that you do best and relay that message. Most people think when you become a trainer that you train people, but one of the things that they really are not clear about is that you have to really understand you're a business.
You're a marketer. And unless you embrace that and start viewing social media as a necessity and not an option, then you'll never be a successful full-time online coach.
And not only a business, busyness, but you're a company. And that company has to build a reliable reputation. And you have to have the components. The 5 components of marketing, 5 pillars to marketing, and know exactly how to run your business with your people, what you actually develop with them physically, the process in which your business operates, and the understanding of how to speak and attract the right people to you, calls to actions, what's unique about what you do, and all of those things came out in that last book. And so there it is. This is one of the main reasons training is so difficult, and a lot of you don't have the full potential yet, but you will get there. And we created this for it to be available for all of those who are in the market of taking their businesses in the training field to the next level.
He was like, the only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist.
So if that's you, continue to follow for more. There's someone out there who's watching, who's working hard and diligent, and you love what you do. But I want you guys to truly understand the importance of having the operations of your business intact so that you can be viewed as a company and people will take you serious. As I spoke about my friend who literally gave me the dummy's guide to marketing, once he realized that I understood a little bit more, he watched me for years before one day He invited me to lunch. After he saw that I had the operations and business and he got an opportunity to look at it. See, in the business world, this is called proof of concept, something that's working. And he understood how good I was. The thing about it is I didn't have my business sense together. But once I got that intact, he took me to lunch, sat down. We had a great conversation. He took a blank check and slid it across the table. And he said, let's start with $120,000 to get your business going to another level. I knew at that point that I had proved to myself by getting the nod from someone who does this for a living. And I didn't accept the offer because I understood that I was on the right path, and rightfully so. I ended up acquiring 7 figures in both industries. And this is what I want to share with you. Make sure that you understand that there is another level to what you're doing. Training is great, but now you're a company. Let's take it to that next level. If you want to get full access to something like this, the business operations, something that will take your business and create a proof of concept, there's a link that's in our description that you can follow, and it'll take you directly to the register page. Follow that link and elevate your career and take your hustle and turn it into a company. Follow the link now and schedule a call, and let's see what you're working with. Peace.